If you want to achieve your life goals, relentless, exhausting hard work is actually the least important variable in the equation. Relying on effort alone creates an archetype we can call the silent worker. This is the person who clocks in, puts their head down, and grinds day after day, yet finds themselves in the exact same position year after year. Their blind spot is completely behavioral. They might be the most reliable employee in the building, but they have absolutely no written goals, and they are spectacularly bad at asking for what they want. There is a psychological trap here. We tend to assume that labor inherently triggers a reward. We expect a sheer volume of our effort to act as a silent request for a promotion, wealth, or success. So the silent worker generates massive amounts of physical and mental output, but attaches exactly zero directional intent to it. Unchecked effort leads to total exhaustion, while the actual target remains untouched. The correction to this trap requires understanding a very specific behavioral trigger, the act of asking. Vocalizing a request is the precise mechanism that initiates the process of receiving. The system of receiving requires a specific prompt to begin moving. Without that verbal input, the machinery simply stays in its dormant state. Success is not a rationed commodity kept behind a window. It exists in a massive, unmanaged volume like an ocean. Because opportunities are not finite, the bottleneck is never the supply, but rather the size of the vessel you bring to collect it. When outcomes stall, the error usually lies in the lack of an explicit request rather than a lack of available resources. The external environment is already primed and fully capable of delivering. The bottleneck throttling your progress is entirely internal. So why do highly capable, intelligent adults refuse to state what they want? We approach this massive ocean of abundance driven by ingrained skepticism. Because we doubt the water is really there for us, we only bring a tiny teaspoon to collect it. We are terrified of judgment and failure. When we do finally try to make a request, we wrap it in vague, overly safe terms so that if we are rejected, the sting of the loss is minimized. This habit of vague requesting is essentially mumbling. It is a subconscious defense mechanism designed to help us avoid the vulnerability of declaring true desire. But if we look at this as an automatic system, the logic is clear. Feeding a blurry, undefined input into a precision machine results in a completely empty, zero-value output. The very skepticism we pride ourselves on as adults, the attitude we often disguise as being realistic, is the exact mechanism that starves our potential. Beating this trap requires a behavioral paradox. You have to combine the rigorous, detailed planning of an adult with the unquestioning, pure belief of a child. The first step is to ask with intelligence. This means defining exactly what you want. How wide, how high, what specific color, and exactly what timeline you expect it on. This level of clarity changes how you navigate. Detailed goals pull your attention toward the specific opportunities and data points needed to reach them. The second step is to ask with faith. You have to fully suspend your adult disbelief and act with the absolute assumption that your specific request is going to be met. Absolute clarity of data combined with the absolute conviction of your mind allows you to bypass the trap of the silent worker. You can test this yourself with a simple 90-day experiment. Spend the next 3 months relentlessly defining your specific desires and asking for them without a single moment of hesitation. There is almost zero risk in trying this. If it doesn't work, the routine of grinding away in silence is always there for you to return to. The world admires people who take action, but the standard doer usually ends up working for the doer who knows how to ask. The resources are already waiting. The only question is what specific demand you are going to bring to the ocean tomorrow.